So I went to the post office today to pick up a mystery package, one that I had forgotten about that I was accepting. It came from an address I didn't recognize. Someone that hadn't even contacted me, but it turned out to be one of my longtime customers, purchased it and had the seller ship it to me because it had a problem. Anyway, I want you to see how this thing was packed. I'm surprised it got here in one piece. Check it out. When I say this unit was shipped poorly, this is how it was shipped. In a single Home Depot box, it was cut up and made smaller to make it as absolutely small as possible. There's a little bit of styrofoam down the bottom, and a little bit of styrofoam, and some rolled up bubble wrap on the front. One layer of bubble wrap. How this thing got here without arriving in a very damaged state, I have no idea. Obviously, he's done it for shipping costs because the bigger the box, the more it costs to ship. So it's been packed very minimally to keep the shipping costs down. It's got some styrofoam in the bottom, and there's a little bit of bubble wrap here, and there's some styrofoam stuffed around the front. If you're shipping stuff, pack it properly, people. Because the post office guys, they don't care. They just throw stuff around. You should know that. Now, I see, looking at that box, I'm surprised this thing wasn't all smashed up. Before I even try this one out, we're going to pop the top off it. This came from I guess I don't know where. I don't even recall someone contacting me about this one. It came from Ontario. I know one of my customers in Texas was telling me he was giving somebody my name, my address to ship me a DAT machine in Canada, and this might be the one. But the fellow that sent me this, I don't think I've even got any email from the person that sent it. It just doesn't ring a bell. I was not expecting this. It just arrived at the post office today. We're going to see what's wrong with this thing. See what's going on with this one. Alright, I want to see what this thing does before I even attempt to do anything. It's got power. That part lights up. We'll see if it loads a cassette. Well, that part works. Okay, so maybe we get a slipping belt on this. Yeah, it sounds like we got a slipping belt. Oh, more than slipping belt. We got switches that are also bad. It won't stay open. Well, now it will. There's switches here there's little switches here that need to be cleaned. But I have a slipping belt for starters. I don't know if there's anything else wrong with this, but let's deal with the belt problem first. So I'll pull the screws that hold the transport in place. 4 screws will remove the transport. I don't know exactly what this spring is actually here for. You know, it's like, but it's there on all of them. And this is the little belt that goes bad on these. I don't know if I've got one that will fit. I'll see if I've got one. Before I look for a belt, to say I don't know if I've got one or not for here, but I might. Or I might have one that's close enough. I'm going to put a bit of grease into the gears down here because they generally do tend to need to be lubricated. And of course, try not to get any onto the actual pulley itself. So maybe I'll pull the cut washer so that I can lift the little pulley out so that I'm not going to get any grease where I don't want it. So remove the cut washer. I can now remove this little wheel so that I can get some lube into the gears inside here because they do get gummed up, and once they do, things get just a little more stiff, which means that much more likely that the belt will slip if the little wheels and gears in here are lacking lube. So we'll just put a little bit of lubricant down inside there. That'll not be the only place I put lube on this unit, but we'll start there. And then I'll go and hopefully find a belt that will fit and see whether that will make this thing load. I'm gonna have to go through some of my catalog of old belts and just see what I've got, because I really don't know whether I've got one for this or not, but I might. But I want to cover all the bases first, and that includes putting some lubricant in the mechanism. Get that little clip back on. Alright, let me go find a belt for it. So the smallest belt I've got is this little one here. And I don't know if it's going to be the right size or not, but it might be. I don't know, we'll find out. We'll see if it works. It's pretty close to the original one, but whether it's going to turn it or whether it's going to slip, that's what I don't know. So I guess we'll find out pretty quick when I try to run this thing. At least I can run it without having to put it all back together. Oh, good. This one looks like this one works. Excellent. And play. Yeah, excellent. Okay, good. Fast forward. Excellent. Rewind. Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna just put the chassis back in. We'll see whether that's all that was wrong with it, just using a belt and lubrication. That's always nice when you can get away with stuff like that. Now, so I want to make sure that this this grease doesn't end up where I don't want it, because of course when it goes through the gears it will tend to spill out a bit. Did manage to migrate out so it doesn't get on anything that it's not supposed to, like the pulley and so forth. Maybe we're okay. I hope we're okay. Hope no grease got on that belt. Otherwise I'll have to clean it off. We'll just try it again before I put it back together. Yep. We're good. Sometimes this gets scummed up down here, but this feels loose on this one, so not too worried about it. Let's just see what else is wrong with this machine, whether it's just the belt. Could be that it was just the belt and the mechanism gummed up a bit. Those are always nice, easy fixes when you get ones like that. Everybody looks for those type of jobs, where you can get in and get the thing fixed and get out in record time. But I don't know if it plays. That's the thing. I don't know if it's got any sound, so I'll just put a couple screws in here just to hold the chassis in place, and then we'll test it and see if I've got some sound. Okay, is there going to be any sound or not? Hey, I got sound. Excellent. So it's just the belt was bad on this one. DA30mk2 looks almost like the DA40. It doesn't have the alphanumeric display on the, it just has a regular vacuum fluorescent with a counter, whereas the DA40 has a alphanumeric display, so it displays not only the hours, minutes, and seconds, but it also displays the frames, and you can put CD text. It was a mastering machine used for mastering CDs, so they could input the text that would display on a compact disc, and then when the tape was sent to the CD mastering facility, they could just transfer the tape directly over, and all of the album title and everything would be transferred over as CD text. So that was the difference between the DA30 Mark II and the DA40. Other than that, the machines themselves are fairly similar. The board is different in the DA40 than this one. But it's working, so I guess the only thing I need to do now is we'll check it for skip to the next track. Yeah, that's working. We'll put 2 tracks ahead now. Yep. Go 3 tracks back, or 2 tracks back, I guess. I'll go back 2 tracks. Yeah, that works. Fast forward works. We'll do a recording on this as well. Rewind. I'm just going to grab my record tape that I've got here. We'll do like a 30-second recording because I just record on the tail end of a tape. Eject. I guess I got to wait for it to finish doing what it's doing and then eject it. Okay, I've got to load up another tape. We'll cue it to the end of what's on the tape and do a little. I think I got about 30 seconds. I think this is the tape I've been using, but we'll do a test recording and make sure that it's working. Yeah, I believe this is the tape, so let me just go to the end of it. I think this is where it is, where I make the recording. So I'll hit the record button, and I got to select my inputs. Set my recording level. And this machine can also record LP and standard, and it can record 44.1 and 48 kilohertz. We'll find something to record here. Put a record pause. And record. So this is what I'm recording right now. One other thing I'll do on this, because these switches were kind of acting up, so I'm going to just give these switches a shot of cleaner before I'm done with it. What happens when these switches go bad is that the drawer opens and closes, it doesn't stay open. And they do get dirty, which is, I mean, it's to be expected on a machine that's old as this machine is, because this is probably getting close to 40 years old. I forget what year the DA30 came out, but it was in the 80s. The DA40 followed. Okay, these are all getting pretty long in the tooth now. I'm surprised that as many of them are working, or as many that still working are. I mean, it's just. Okay, that should be plenty, I guess. I'll just go back here, back to that beginning of that track. How do I do this? Skip back. Yep, it's recording. So this one's good. So I'll just give those switches a shot of cleaner, and we'll close this one up. This will be a real quick video for a change. There's a switch on either side that gets activated when it opens and closes. These machines had, let's see, how many motors did these ones have? They had a drum motor, a capstan motor, which also functioned to drive the reels. They had a threading motor. They had a motor to raise and lower the tape, and they had a motor to operate the tray. They had 5 motors on these things. And 4 belts. Sometimes this thing gets stuck, but it isn't on this one, so there's not really any need to really. I mean, I guess I could put some grease on there. It wouldn't hurt. I'll throw a bit of grease on this control arm here that opens and closes it, because that was a common point of failure on these ones. So we'll just put a bit of grease on that just to keep it from acting up. You don't really have to grease the mechanisms on these because they are a composite. It's not metal, so you don't have to put grease on them like some of them. Like this is all composite, this here. So they don't require lubrication like the all metal chassis did, like these parts here. Metal parts here and in here. Alright, I'm going to say this one's done. Nice, easy one for a change. Thanks for watching. We will catch you in the next one. Bye.